Hey, greetings, everyone. Lieutenant Colonel Alan West here, and welcome to the Steadfast and Loyal podcast.
You gotta light 'em up before they burn it down. Better dig deep, put 'em in the ground. Blood on their hands, they're hellbound. Save us all. Ooh, they're gonna burn it down. Save us all before they burn it down.
Hey folks, Lieutenant Colonel Alan West here at Watchtower Firearms. This is the custom design AR-15 that was just made for me. It's got my Steadfast and Loyal logo there. On this side, you can see my signature, my master parachutist wings, of course, American flag. And I just want to tell you that you can't be a great American unless you have a great American weapon. And that's exactly what Watchtower Firearms is building. Great American weapons, all American parts, manufactured right here in the great state of Texas. And oh, by the way, the, let me see, where is the serial number on this one? TX1836. If you're from Texas, I think you know what that means. God bless you. God bless Watchtower.
Hit, dead center. Yes.
Hey, greetings, everyone. Welcome back to the Steadfast and Loyal podcast. And, I enjoyed him the first time. He has so honored me by coming back again, and that's Nick Searcy. He is the star and producer of The War on Truth. He has maintained a distinguished career spanning more than 2 decades in the movie industry. His credits range from independent features to Hollywood blockbusters and television series hits. Mr. Searcy played General Hoyt in Guillermo del Toro's 2018 Best Picture winner, The Shape of Water, and had a role in the multiple Oscar-winning film Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri, from writer-director Martin Donner. Nick Searcy starred in and produced the documentary Capital Punishment, Everything They Told You About J6 Was a Lie, which, as you know, was arguably one of the most censored films in America in 2022. Sir, thanks for coming back and joining us here at the Steadfast and Loyal podcast.
Thanks for having me, Alan. It's good to see you again.
Yes, sir. Now, last time you were talking with us about, getting ready to do this project, The War on Truth. Now you've got it done. Tell us, what continues your desire to really expose what happened on that infamous day, January the 6th.
Well, the real reason that I made the sequel to Capital Punishment, which is The War on Truth, is because the government has not stopped. They're continuing to arrest people, even 3 years after the fact. They're going after grandmothers that prayed on the Capitol grounds, and Department of Justice Matthew Graves has already announced that they're going to arrest at least 1,000 more people, and they're now beginning to go after people who never went inside the building, just people who were standing around outside the Capitol. He's been claiming that they were in a restricted area when, in fact, all the restricted area signs had been deliberately taken down so that people didn't know if they were in a restricted area. It's all very sinister and it's ongoing. And so I wanted to continue to tell the story of these people whose lives are being ruined by this government.
Do you think that is the real intent, is the coercion, the fear, intimidation tactic by this government? We know that they have weaponized so many agencies against everyday Americans. Is that the end state?
Yes, it's evident in our movie that, they are intentionally targeting these particular protesters and letting go the violent protesters that, we see on college campuses, that we saw with the George Floyd riots and all that they slap those people on the wrist if they prosecute them at all. And then they go after, to the fullest extent of the law, and treat these January 6 people like they're serial killers and drug cartel leaders or something, breaking down their doors at 6 a.m., bringing them out at gunpoint, SWAT teams, all this stuff for people that have never been arrested for anything before in their lives and didn't even do anything violent on January 6th.
You bring up a great point because the hypocrisy is just utterly evident when you have these young people that are supporting an Islamic terrorist organization that killed Americans and holding Americans hostage if they're still alive, but yet they get the slap on the wrist to include Representative Ilhan Omar's daughter. But yet we have, like you said, grandmothers who were praying on the steps of the Capitol getting, early morning raids. Is this really going to backfire against the left, you think, in this highly contested election cycle?
Well, it's hard to say if it's going to backfire. I mean, the left has become emboldened, and they don't really care anymore if you like it or not. I mean, this is the beginnings of a totalitarian state, and that's what they do. They support the riots that these college students do on college campuses because they want to destroy American society, and they support that. But the people that were in Washington on January 6th wanted to preserve election integrity, individual liberty, and believed in the Constitution. The left wants those things destroyed. So that's why you see the disparate ways that they treat each side of these protests. It's like they support the things that the Palestinian protesters that are now terrorizing Jews on American campuses, they support that.
It's amazing because you saw the individuals that were there in Dearborn, Michigan, in Rashida Tlaib's congressional district shouting death to America and death to Israel. I have not heard about them having an FBI raid, early morning hours against, their domicile. And definitely, I mean, some of these college and university students that are here on student visas that are shouting intifada, have any of them had their student visas revoked? Why is it so important that you continue to hammer this issue for the American people?
Well, I don't know if I feel called to do it, Alan. It's just like I feel like I can't get away from it. I was really skeptical about making a documentary, and I mean making a sequel to the first documentary. I thought this is pointless. Why nobody's listening? And so at that time, it was Christmas of 22, I believe, and I went into a little butcher shop in Nashville where I live and to order a roast. And it turns out the lady helping me in the butcher shop, her husband had been in the gulag for over 2 years at that point. And so I just went, all right, I think I'm going to have to interview you, Sarah. I think God is telling me to make this movie. So I really feel like it's a calling and something that I couldn't avoid.
Now, where are you screening it? How many opportunities have you had to show the War on Truth so far?
Well, the premiere is May 17th. That'll
Okay.
be the first time that the movie's available. And we're having a premiere of it in Dallas on the 17th and another screening on the 18th. And after that, it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be thewarontruthmovie.com. It'll have its own website, and it's also going to be on the Salem Now website.
Well, I got to tell you, what a great opportunity because a lot of folks are going to be in the Dallas-Fort Worth, especially the Dallas area, because that's the time of the NRA convention. So I would say, if you can, that's a great marketing opportunity to get more people there. And yours truly might just pop in there to see you, shake your hand, because I want to be a part of this.
Oh, we'd love to have you, Alan. Please let me know if you'd like to come. We'd love to have you. Yeah.
Well, let's consider it done. Okay. Now,
Great. I'll send you the info.
great. What do you think the next step is? Why are the Republican politicians speaking out about the violation of the constitutional rights of these individuals? Like you said, the woman there at the butcher shop whose husband has been held for 2 years. I mean, if you have a case, bring it before trial and get it settled. Why have we not seen Republicans speak out about this?
I don't really know, Alan. I can only, speculate. I think I'm beginning to think that there's a lot of people in our government that are compromised in some way. And I believe that in some of their cases, I think intelligence agencies come to them and go, hey, by the way, just so you know, we have this on you. If you cause too much of a fuss, we might have to show it to people. So I think that's the only explanation I can come up with, because the Republicans have not done anything to push back, and they should have been. These people should have been championed from the beginning, and it's the fear. I mean, the government has done a great job at terrorizing everybody, and the media has done a great job of propagandizing everybody into thinking that everybody that was there on January 6th is some sort of crazed white supremacist domestic terrorist. And, I think a lot of politicians, Republicans too, look at the issue and go, I think getting on that side of the issue might hurt me more than it helps me, so I'm staying out of it.
Yeah, but you would think that when you have cases and instances and examples of constitutional rights being violated, that's not a hard thing to do. Yes, if you committed a crime, that's fine, but there is a due process that is supposed to be followed. If you're not following that due process, representatives should be speaking up. Governors of states where their people have been taken away and being held without any recourse or any ability to make their case, they should be speaking out. So I think this is cowardice. Am I wrong?
No, I think it is cowardice. And I think that part of it is that every single one of these defendants is charged in the District of Columbia, which is not a state. And they don't, the judicial system, the judges, the juries, the prosecutors, it's all 99, 80, 98% Democrat, partisan Democrat. So that's why they won't grant any change of venues to any of these defendants. They won't let them be tried in their own states, because they know if they were tried by a true jury of their peers, they would probably all get off.
No, without a doubt. Now, let's talk about you personally, because you're stepping out on faith. You have to be congratulated for that. But what have been the consequences and ramifications for you doing not just one, but now you've got a second documentary coming out on January 6th? Are you concerned about the knock on your front door?
Sure. I mean, it crosses my mind. And in fact, the director of the film, Chris Burgard, the FBI came to him, and they didn't do a big pre-dawn raid, but they said, yeah, we had a report that film you made was a kind of a threat. And we just want to ask you a few questions. And most of the questions they wanted to ask him were like, what were you talking to Nick Searcy about on that day? So it's like that. I know they're looking at us. I know that, so it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility.
But the thing that's amazing to me, sir, is that to this point, there's no leader of Antifa that has ever been questioned. There are no leaders of Black Lives Matter, which is a subversive organization, the Summer of Love of 2020, all of the devastation and violence. These young kids on these college and university campuses who are being supported by somebody financially and everything. Those are some pretty nice tents that these college students had. I don't think they wrote a check for those tents. Why do we not see the government going out and asking those questions again? Kids going out and supporting an Islamic terrorist organization, to me, that's sedition. Why this hypocrisy, this so blatant hypocrisy?
Well, they are, like you said, they're being financially supported by some sinister forces that are very powerful and very wealthy. And those same forces are, they're exerting pressure on lawmakers. And I think that it is all, the same people that were doing the BLM and the Antifa are the same people that did Occupy Wall Street, same people who did all the COVID restrictions, same people who are doing what's happening now with the Palestinian protests. These are all the same people, and they have the same objective, which is make America unstable and unsafe.
How important, and this is in your assessment, how important is this 2024 election cycle?
How important is what?
This 2024 election cycle.
Well, it's everything. And I think that the real fear here, I'm not afraid of Donald Trump losing the election. I think he's going to win the election by a mile, but I am afraid of them actually allowing him to take office because frankly, Alan, in my mind, they stole it in 2020. I don't see what's going to stop them from stealing it again. And then they've even said out loud that they're going to try to prevent him from taking office in the event that he is elected.
Yeah, because you can already read and you can see how the Democrats are coming together. And if he is allowed to assume office, they're trying to figure out ways that they can block his abilities as commander in chief and what have you. I've never heard of or seen such election interference in my little 63 years of existence that we see today. Has America crossed the Rubicon? Is there any way that we can reconcile ourselves with this leftist Democrat Party, or are we seeing a permanent divide and separation?
Well, I think it's permanent enough that I don't think I'll see the end of it. I mean, I think it's going to take years to repair this if it can be repaired. But no, I definitely think there's a break here that has to happen. I mean, the left has been marching through our institutions, polluting our media, our educational system for decades now.
Mhm.
And a lot of these college campuses where you see these protests, these are brainwashed little children that have been through the indoctrination system, starting from kindergarten and going all the way through college. And in order to undo that, a lot is going to have to happen. A lot of things are going to have to be completely torn out by the roots in order for anything to change permanently. I think there can be, incremental change if we get the right person in the White House, but it's going to be a long, slow process. It took them decades to get us to this point.
Yes.
I think it's going to take decades to get us out.
Last question I want to ask you is, in the underpinnings and the undercurrent, do you see or hear any changes in Hollywood, or is Hollywood just done, gone? I mean, it's just off the chart, leftist, socialist, Marxist. But are you starting to see maybe some people peeling away from this?
I do see a lot of people peeling away from Hollywood, and I think an alternative industry is going to spring up. I'm seeing it here in Tennessee. There's a lot of filmmakers that have moved here from California.
Hmm.
A lot of the stuff that's still being made by Hollywood that's still coming out is just as woke as it ever was, and they're still in a business where, with all these streaming systems and people paying a monthly fee for all of the content, they're not beholden to the audience like they used to be, because people aren't buying tickets for a single show. You're financing all of it if you have a subscription to Netflix. So the way that they're still operating is that they're impressing each other with their content. It's like they make content that is so woke they can turn to the person next to them at Disney and go, "See, I'm just as woke as you are. Put my new show on." And so that's continuing to happen. I mean, I've been sent some scripts lately that would make you laugh out loud.
Do
If
you
you
think
saw
there's a
the
possibility? Do you think there's a possibility we could have a conservative streaming service out there one day?
I think there is. Yes, I think it's definitely possible, but it's going to take a big investment. It's
Yeah.
going to take, 500 million, $1 billion. It's going to take a lot of money in order to do that. So the conservative investors need to wake up and realize that they've got to start investing in storytelling and entertainment, because that's what's destroyed the country. We've abdicated all that to the left, and they poisoned our children by, stuff they see on the Disney Channel when they're 7 years old. So it's got to happen. I mean, there are people that are taking steps in that direction. The Daily Wire, one.
Mhm.
Salem Now is one. But you got to get it to a point where, everybody wants to subscribe to your station, no matter whether they're conservative or liberal.
Yes.
And that's difficult.
Nick Searcy, how can people follow you, and remind people again about the premiere of The War on Truth right here in Dallas, May 17th?
Yeah, the warontruthmovie.com. You can get all the information right there. That's the warontruthmovie.com. And you can follow me on Twitter at YesNickSearcy. And also, you can go at the end of the month and buy my new book. It's coming out May 28th.
Awesome. Will you have some of the books there at the Dallas premiere?
I might. Yeah, I might bring some. That's a good idea. Yeah.
See, every now and then I stumble upon a good idea. So that's it
Right.
for the rest of the week.
I need a new manager, Alan. I've fired mine, so maybe you can help.
I think I could do that. But we'll have to talk to Mrs. West about moving, though.
Okay.
Nick
Okay.
Searcy, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for what you're doing, because you're stepping out on faith, and we need to have more people that are in the spotlight, especially in the entertainment industry, that are going to speak out and do the right things by the American people. So God bless you, and I look forward to seeing you on May the 17th.
God bless you, Alan. I'll see you then.
Yes, sir. And ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this interview with Mr. Nick Searcy, please click the like button, share it with others. And if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we'll see you May the 17th. We'll get the information out there so that you can see this new film documentary, The War on Truth. And until next time, steadfast and loyal.
Before they burn it down.